Yo, Counter Attack podcast with myself, Daps. Guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that good stuff. Again, thank you for all of the reactions and engagement that I've been getting. Make sure you like, subscribe. Right, apologies, guys, for those of you watching this who tried to tune into the stream last night. Yeah, I don't know what happened. My Fire Stick just didn't want to work, and that never happens. But trust it to happen when I've got, when I'm trying to watch the football and everything. But yeah, no, we moved though, and I should have just streamed like this. To be honest, I might even do that. Anyway, no. But yeah, guys, I've got a podcast coming for you tomorrow again. Hopefully tomorrow anyway. It's recorded. I told you last week on the stream that I've got a Burnley player coming on. He came on, we recorded. I'm going to put that out for you tomorrow or the day after, depending on whenever I get around to editing it. If I can edit it tonight, then it'll be out for you tomorrow. So yeah. So again, apologize for that live last night. Obviously, if you're looking back at the channel, you're going to see that there was another live that happened because I decided to do live again and just do like my normal weekend roundup, weekend wrap up. So yeah, where do we start, man? Obviously, I'm going to touch on a lot of these things in the live, but Tottenham. I'm going to start with Tottenham. As I'm recording this, Tottenham are still playing. I've got it on the screen there. Listen, they're looking good. Tottenham are looking good. I cannot lie, and I will not lie. And I don't know how I feel about it. To be honest, I'm actually okay with it because as much as I don't like seeing them top, I genuinely don't think it will last. I genuinely feel like as the season goes on, they will, fall off. And that's not to say that they're just going to become rubbish overnight or anything. I just don't think that, over the course of a season, they've got enough to win it, especially when, the bigger teams start, getting into their groove, to get what I'm saying. I'm talking about City. City, they come back and they won yesterday or the day before. Arsenal are still thereabouts, as if they're lost. They're still unbeaten. They obviously had their comeback against Chelsea, which we'll get into. But and Liverpool, like that, there's so much football to be played, and you have to give credit to Tottenham where credit's due. And like I said, as much as I don't like Tottenham, I'm not going to sit here and act like they're not playing well. I'm not going to sit here and act like they're not a really, really tough team to play against right now. And I'm talking about from front to back. When you look at Vicario, who's come in and he's done nothing wrong. He doesn't look like he's put a foot wrong. I don't know where they got him from, but he's looking good. Malang Sarr. Is it Malang Sarr? If it's not Malang Sarr, then apologies. Not Malang Sarr. Let me quickly see. Sarr. Tottenham. Pape Matar Sarr. Sorry. Yeah, when you look at Pape Matar Sarr, Pape Sarr, let me just call him that. He's looking good. And I think he's only 19. And what a player he's looking like he's going to become. The engine on him. And there was a moment in the second half where there was a cross that come in and Fulham had a player on the back post free and Malang Sarr came out of nowhere and just intercepted that and headed the ball out. And he's literally everywhere. He is the box-to-box midfielder. And then you got, obviously, Maddison. Maddison is just, he's looking like he's in his groove right now. He's looking like he's been playing at Tottenham his whole career, how comfortable he is. Him and Son have an unreal partnership, and they look like they gel together well. And he's getting goals, he's getting assists, he's always creating, and he's a massive part of why Tottenham are doing how they're doing. And if they can keep him fit for the whole season, him and Son especially, it's going to be a really, really good season for them. Like I said, I don't think they've got enough to win the league. I don't think they've got enough to mount a sustained challenge. But I do definitely feel like Tottenham are going. You got a. It's a fixture where you look and you'd be like, yep, boy, it's going to be a tough game. And it says a lot that even looking into this game, I think if this was season gone past and Tottenham weren't playing how they're playing, I would have just looked at it and just thought, oh, yeah, Fulham might get something here. But I didn't give Fulham a chance of getting anything today. I think that they've tried, but Tottenham have just been superior all over. They've been balling out, and yeah, man, just really, really good. And to think they've still got who's actually my favourite Tottenham player, when if I'm being honest, Bentancur. Bentancur has still got to come back. I don't know how long he's. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at Fulham. Calvin Bassey is an absolute train wreck. Calvin Bassey is an absolute train wreck. Anyway, we're gonna get into that another time because I'm not even about to do that. But yeah, they're looking good, man. And like I said, as I'm watching it, it's 2-0 to Tottenham. They'll probably get another one. I'm not gonna rule it out. Fulham are looking a mess. That Mitrovic sale is a big loss for them. It's a massive loss for them, and I didn't think it would be as much as I'm seeing now because Jimenez just doesn't look like he's got enough up there. Who's the other one they got? Oh my gosh, it's gonna really annoy me. The other striker they got, I think he was even at Tottenham. It'll come back to me, but he doesn't look like he's got enough about him, and they just look a bit passive, like they just need something else. So, yeah, they're looking good, and guys. So I'm trying to fly through this because there was obviously a good couple games on over the weekend. Chelsea Arsenal. No, first before I get into that, guys, let me know what you think about Tottenham's chances this season. Do you think they're going to finish the season with a cup? I think they've got a good cup run in them, 100% a good cup running. And Tottenham, by my understanding, they're not in Europe, are they? I don't think they're in Europe. So, yeah, are they? No, I don't. No, they must be in Europe. They must be in Europe. But if they're not in Europe, then listen, they've really just got to focus on one game a week. You know, they've got a good cup run in them. And oh yeah, I did want to talk about Romero. I was having a conversation with a Tottenham fan, and he was telling me that Romero is now back, and I don't know where he went, but yeah, he's now one of the best in the league, and he's matured now. And I have definitely seen that he's not as rash as he was last season. Is this his third season? Second or third season? But he's not as rash as we've seen him. But he definitely, you know, he's complimented by the fact that he's got a good defender next to him. Complimenting the fact that Tottenham keep the ball a lot better now. So he doesn't have to, he's not always under it. I do think that when it comes down to it, if it's a tough game and back against the wall, the old Romero will come out. But that doesn't matter if Tottenham keep playing how they're playing. So, flipping out. Skip just did a mad tackle, but I got the ball. That's a real old school tackle. So yeah, Tottenham are on the attack now. Sorry guys, as literally, like I said, I would have been doing this in my live, and you guys could even see it's still up on the channel. I'm going to keep it there so you can see what I was dealing with that live. I just didn't understand why it just wasn't working. But don't worry, like these things happen. I'll try to repay it by doing a live tomorrow for the Champions League. And hopefully that will, or today for the Champions League, whenever you're watching this. But yeah, listen, Chelsea Arsenal. Listen, you see Chelsea Arsenal? I'm going to start with Chelsea. Because as much as Arsenal were poor, Chelsea were really good. And Chelsea stopped Arsenal from being able to play anything like they want to play. I think they did really well in closing spaces to the point where Arsenal couldn't get the ball to Odegaard. We're going to touch on Odegaard too as well. But Arsenal couldn't get the ball to Odegaard. And when they did get him the ball, the quality wasn't there. But I felt like that was all throughout the team. I felt like this whole Raya and Ramsdale situation isn't going to be helped by the fact that Raya let that second goal in and then had a moment where he's given the ball away from a like back pass. And yeah, there's just a lot of things that just they're just not clicking right for Arsenal. I feel like it's important for Partey to come back into the team. Partey has to 100% come back in because, and if you're not going to play Partey there, Declan Rice has to be in the number 6. I'm not going to say how much of a good player Declan Rice is anymore because I've said it enough. And he was, I mean, Sanchez, the keeper, was a massive reason why Arsenal got back into the game. But Declan Rice still has to finish it. And even then, he was the only one really driving Arsenal on. He was the only one really, you know, trying to go through it. And Yeah, but it was a bad performance from Arsenal. But Chelsea were really really good. Cole Palmer's going to be a heck of a player. Cole Palmer's got that thing where, every now and then you get a player who's been at a better club, and then they come and play at a club where they're not as good, they're not as fluid, they're not as far into their project as the team they've come from. Cole Palmer is that guy that's come from a better team. He's that guy that's been playing with better players. He's come to Chelsea and they've given him the responsibility and given him the freedom to just do what he does. And what I like about it is that a lot of time you get players with the potential, young players with the potential, and they're made to be a bit robotic in their ways and they're not really given that much freedom. Cole Palmer has that freedom. Cole Palmer, he looks like he's relishing it as well, which I really, really, I rate that from him. And like I said, he's gonna be a really, really good player. He already is a good player. The fact that he's even got enough about him to be taking the penalty away from Raheem Sterling says a lot about him too. Says a lot about his teammates who trust him and wanted him to have that penalty, even though Raheem should have taken that. But we move. But yeah, no, Cole Palmer was a problem all day long. Who else? Cucurella. Cucurella gets a lot of stick, and if I'm being totally honest, he had a very good game up against Saka. Up until Saka got the assist, Cucurella was really, really good. And even with the assist, that's not a Cucurella issue. That's more good from Saka's. But I have to speak about Cucurella because as much as people want to criticize him and everything, when he does well, or when players do well in general, I think it's important that you also show the other side. So big him up. And yeah, Chelsea, like I said, were just better. And Thiago Silva. Listen, Thiago Silva, I would not be surprised if Chelsea gave him another year, because the only reason why you would not give him another year is literally because of his age. It's not because he's declining with his ability. It's not because he's a liability or anything. It literally is just because of his age. And my thing is that if you're doing it and you're doing it better than any other of their defenders that they've got, you've got to just offer him another year. And I know it is still early in the season, but he is that good where I cannot see a dramatic drop-off to the point where he's not a useful part of the squad. I mean, obviously, he might have a say in that, and I've heard that he might want to go back to Brazil eventually, but he's really, really good. Now, in terms of Arsenal, all I will say... Oh, wait, no. Mudryk is saying that he meant that. They're saying Mudryk meant that goal. Listen, he did not mean that goal. Like, there's absolutely no way, and Raya needs to do better with that. I think they keep saying that Raya and Ramsdale, Arteta needs to pick a number one. And to be honest, I think they're going so ham with this story about Raya and who is number one that it does create pressure on the keepers. I think it's a problem that we didn't need to have. But what I will also say though, oh wait, Fulham are in. Oh, flipping hell, man! That was your chance. So Fulham just had a shot. But what I will say about it is that it makes sense with the whole Raya thing happening because obviously Arsenal's goalkeeping coach came from Brentford. He's the old Brentford goalkeeper coach, so he obviously knows Raya and was obviously an integral part of Arsenal. Sorry. He was an integral part of Arsenal getting David Raya. So it makes sense. I understand now why Arteta went out and got Raya. Because, like I said, if the goalkeeping coach is the old Brentford coach, one who knows David Raya really well, it's all making sense now why David Raya is there. I didn't actually know that, but still, there's a massive problem there. And Arteta, he's given himself a problem that he probably didn't think he would have to make. I do still think Raya's a top keeper. I just think he's having a very difficult moment right now. One that isn't helped with the fact that there's all this, that he's under so much scrutiny right now. The fact that there's this whole thing going around about who is number one. But I do think he's a top keeper. But then again, I thought Ramsdale was a top keeper, and he was unlucky to have his place taken from him. But yeah, but Arsenal showed character again, and although Arsenal aren't playing their best right now, I think it's really positive for them to play this badly or play that badly and get the draw and get something from it. I think we now have a squad where, yes, we need additions 100%, but we now have a squad where you can take certain players off and the players coming on are equally good and offer something different. And as much as, you know, I can criticize Arteta for certain things or whatever, you also praise him for making the changes that he made. I think Odegaard had to come off, and it's okay to say that it's just not his day. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think the conversation that I'm seeing around Odegaard with people saying that he doesn't show up in big games, I think is a bit unfair. I think there are games where he could do better, but I don't think he shies away in big games. I think that for someone like Odegaard, unless, and this isn't even talking about Chelsea, because Chelsea just didn't have a good game, if we're being honest, he didn't have a good game. But I think it's more about the impact you're having, and a lot of the time, if he's not scoring or assisting, people are saying he's not having an impact, which I don't think is the case in big games. But his form is a bit off right now, and I'm okay to put it down to form and not that, he's not that good. And he does need to up it, and there's nothing wrong with saying a player needs to up it and a player needs to play better. But I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't show up in big games. No, I'm not going to say that. But we have needed him in the last couple of games, and this is the time that his form wants to be off. But I'm literally just going to put it down to form. I'm not going to put it down to anything else. So yeah, Arsenal came back. Let me know what your thoughts were on the match. I thought it was pretty. It was hard to watch. It was really, really hard to watch. But yeah, let me know what you think about the match. So I'm just flying through some things just so I give you a lot of video tomorrow. Yeah, guys, keep liking, subscribing, man, and keep sharing. And thanks for those who actually view my lives and interact with me. It's appreciated, man, honestly. One second. Right, I'm just going to see the fixtures, see what else is going on. Oh, yeah, also, I'm going to put this podcast that I'm doing, because when it's so short, the videos, I don't like putting it on the audio. So there's people who listen on audio and it just probably looks like I've not put anything out for ages. But trust me, like I have been putting them out on YouTube, but I'm going to put them out both places, as well as, you know, the one with the players, obviously, and the longer form ones are always going to go out. But I'm going to start putting these short ones on YouTube, on the audio platforms as well. Premier League. Okay, what else is there to talk about? Tottenham spoken about. Pardon me. Liverpool. Who did Liverpool play? Liverpool played. Everton. Let me try to figure out what the goals were like. Everton did alright, man. I think Everton did alright. I think it was the handball. What was it? And the other goal right at the end. Yeah, this whole handball thing as well, man. It's ridiculous. And I saw someone say, I forgot. I think he said something about handball is handball. Like if it hits your hand, like basically it's just a given that as long as it hits your hand, it should be handball and whatnot. And I was saying, so Tottenham are just gonna. Fulham got a chance. I bet nothing comes from it. Of course not. Yeah. So my thing with a handball is that there is such thing as ball to hand. There is such thing as accidental. The one against Saliba was never a handball, but by the letter of the law, it's a handball. And my thing is like, it shouldn't have been given. Michael Keane was 100% a handball. Michael Keane's one, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, on Liverpool, I don't know why Darwin doesn't start for them, man. Honestly, like Darwin is a problem. Darwin is an absolute problem, and for me, he has to start for them all the time. And yes, I know they have their squad, and obviously I'm not the manager there, but I just don't. It's just a weird one why they don't start. And I honestly think Liverpool, along with Man City, are probably favourites for the league. That's me downplaying Arsenal because I'm not about to get too far ahead of myself. I think Liverpool are a tough team to beat. I feel like they look like they're back in the groove. Their midfield looks like rejuvenated. Szoboszlai is such a class player. Do you know what I mean? Szoboszlai will fit into any team in world football, and I'm not just gassing him up. Honestly, Szoboszlai is the sort of player where you don't notice the things he does, but every now and then he does something that is outrageous, and you're just like, oh, what a player. And when I say outrageous, I don't even mean loud. It might just be silky, like a little bit of footwork, but all throughout the game, he's always involved in the game. He's always busy. He's always moving around. He's always passing there, making tackles. Like he's effective. And my thing is players who are effective throughout the game, who impact the game, players who are just positive, and you just really, you just really need them in your team. And he's definitely brought something new to the team. Gravenberch is even doing okay. Like Liverpool they've gone back to having a midfield of workers. But not only that, a midfield of workers who have the correct balance and have the correct amount of quality to win games and to battle it out if they need to battle it out. And they've just got it right. I think Harvey Elliott's coming on well as well. So yeah, and their strikers are their strikers. We already know how they're gonna go. So yeah, man, Liverpool are looking good. So like I said, guys, I'm flying through this because I've actually got a live in about 15 minutes. So who else is there? Man United against Sheffield United. I mean, I wasn't convinced by them. I'm just never going to be convinced by United until something dramatically. Oh my gosh, Fulham are actually having chances and then just not putting them away. It's like 92 minutes on the clock. But yeah, I'm not going to be convinced by Man United because they just do not look good at all, and I'm just not. Yeah, nah. I think tougher teams will give them problems all the time. Sheffield United, as much as they tried, they just couldn't. I felt like Diallo's goal was a good strike. I think the keeper should have got that. So I think Man United, like I said the other week, I agree with Gavin Neville that they might struggle to hit that, to get into that top five. Because you've got teams like Newcastle who are absolutely flying right now, by the way. I am not looking forward to playing Newcastle. Definitely not. But they are absolutely flying. And, and this is, it shows what happens when you just have, even if I talk about from a striker's point of view, Newcastle have two top-class strikers in Isak, I don't know how to say his name, and Callum Wilson. And I know a lot of people might look at Callum Wilson. And try and downplay his thing, but Callum Wilson is a really, really good player. Isak, I don't know how to pronounce his name, is a really, really good player. And wow, Williams is spraying those passes, bro. Yeah, Isaac is a really good player, and when you got Bruno Guimaraes in there, and even Longstaff is no thrills, and you wouldn't look at him and say, he's a top player, but he's right for the way that they play. And defensively, defensively they're solid. They all do their job. Even someone like Jacob Murphy, who comes in and does his job and performs well at a high level. And the fact that this is the same team that also just beat PSG, like they're not mugs. They're doing something right. Obviously, 1 second. Yeah. So they're doing something right, obviously, and they're going to take some beating to do so. Yeah, no, this top five is just looking really, really looking dangerous, man. It's looking dangerous for people like Man United, and there's no one safe. I think the only one safe and assured is City and Liverpool. I think Arsenal, as it currently stands, they're going to have, and maybe I'm just trying to not get too ahead of myself and do too much as an Arsenal fan, but I feel like Arsenal need to just start really and truly getting through the gears. Tottenham are in again. 1-on-1 with the keeper. What are you doing? I mean, Fulham waiting again, sorry. But yeah, Man City back to winning ways. Happy days for them. To be honest, I thought they were always going to get back to winning ways. I think Brighton it was Brighton that they played, right? Yeah. I think Brighton are one of those people where it's like hit and miss and everything. But, when Rodri's back in that team, they just look a different team. The fact that they can even decide to give Ruben Diaz a day off. Do you know what I mean? It says something. But yeah, they're back to business. Haaland scoring again. I think Alvarez is is a really, really good player, man. Alvarez, sorry, is a really, really good player. And yeah. By the way, how good was Saturday though? Like all the live matches that were on. In the morning we had Liverpool. I watched the 3 o'clock kickoff, obviously, with Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, and then Man United. Like 4 games I watched, 4 games of football that I watched on Saturday. They should do that every week, honestly. I don't know what else there is to talk. What other talking points there are. If you want to hear more, go back on the live stream. I'm going to be talking about this on the live stream, but going to be getting into more depth. I've got another podcast coming tomorrow with the player. But yeah, guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, getting the comments, and until next time.